Hi guys, this is Gaurav. Welcome to SaaS with ServiceNow. I'm going to start a new ServiceNow admin training in which I will be posting all the videos related to ServiceNow administration. I'm not picking any particular topic which is related to ServiceNow admin certification. I'm just picking the topics which are really important to know to learn ServiceNow administration. So I'm going to begin with our first topic, that is user interface. Now, to learn ServiceNow, you have to know how exactly user interface looks like, what are its functionalities, how exactly it works. So that's the reason this is my first topic, that is user interface. User interface is a really important part of ServiceNow because every user will be interacting to ServiceNow via user interface. So user interface is the main way to interact with the applications and information in ServiceNow instance. As of now, ServiceNow has two versions of UI. One is UI16 and another one is UI15. ServiceNow has more UIs in the past. Those were different versions of UI. But as of now, with the latest release you have, like Midrid, you can use UI16 or UI15. Let's take a look. This is my personal developer instance. As of now, this is on Midrid version. You can see this is UI16. So the UI currently ServiceNow is providing is UI16. That's the latest version of UI. So when anyone talks about UI, that means it's user interface. So it's quite different. You have your company logo here, user profile right here, and application navigator, content pane, filter navigator. These are the functionalities. These are some buttons on UI16. Now, how exactly you can see UI15 with the current version? In order to do that, you have to click on this setting button at the right top. Click on this button. You will see this pop up and you will see this particular button called switch to UI15. If I click this button, this will take me to the UI15 version. So the complete service now will change, only UI will change. Applications or functionalities will not change, only UI. The placement of some buttons, for example, now you can see there's a big difference. So it is still loading. At the top, we have our company logo, name of the instance if you want to keep here. You have search box right at the top, and then you have logout right here, chat, and then you have setting here. There's a bar, blue bar here. User profile is right here. If I click here, it is for impersonation. You can impersonate user, and this is another when you want to have elevated access, elevated privileges access, then you can click this button. This is your application navigator, and this is all your edge. Now you can see the big difference. In the new UI16, you do not have this edge. Initially, we had this edge, but now we don't have in UI16. So it's up to you. It's not mandatory for everyone that you have to use UI15 or UI16. It is as per the user personalization, as per the user comfortness. If you think you are more comfortable with UI16 or UI15, go for it. There's no it just I would say a difference of better UI experience, because the next version which ServiceNow came up with, it has some more, I would say, the user experience is better than this one. But if you are comfortable, you can also use this or else UI16. So you have Edge, this is content pane, application navigator, and this is your banner frame. You have these buttons, and this is your home page. Now, if you are going back to UI16, you just need to click that button and you will see a big difference that you are getting the option of settings, but it is not coming up as a pop-up. It is showing right here. So if you click here, it is showing in this particular area. It is not showing you in as a pop-up we were getting in UI16. So now if I want to go back to UI16, I just need to click on this button again, and this will take me to UI16. So if I will talk about the comparison of UI16 and UI15, the first comparison which I can talk about is banner frame. So this banner frame, it's totally different what you have in UI15. In UI15, the user profile was here, and impersonation and elevated access. You had all those buttons and functionalities in left hand side. However, if you talk about UI16, you have everything in this particular button. So it says user menu. If I click this button, so anything related to user, you will find it here. As an example, you have profile, impersonate user, elevated roles. So now you don't have any button, separate button on UI16. You have all these menu buttons directly on just one button, which will open up some menus. That's called user menu. So this is the difference. And if you have observed that logout button was on the right hand side with the chat option as well, but now we don't have this option in UI16. It is here under user menu, and search was at the right top, and below that you had logout and chat in UI15. However, in this particular UI16, you can see you have search here in the same row. So now I would say banner frame, they have just a little bit squeezed banner frame, and I would say this is saving a lot of space. So that's the reason I'm saying it's kind of a better UI experience they are coming up. I also heard that they are also coming up with new UI version. I'm not sure if when exactly they are going to publish that, but it seems like ServiceNow is coming again with a new UI. But as of now, the latest version we have is UI16. Now, if you will see the application navigator, this side. So first thing which you will realize that you don't have edge. So in UI16, you had edge, but here you don't have edge. You have this application navigator. You can see these applications. You can see favorites right here, where in UI15, you had those favorites and bookmarks on edge, but now you have here. And this is history. We don't have this kind of button in UI15, so you can see the history. Whatever things you have accessed, maybe an incident, a change, whatever record, it will show up here. It will pick some last history, that how many records or what exactly you accessed from or in ServiceNow application. That's what it does. So this is the difference. I talk about Edge, Application Navigator, and as I told you, setting. So if I click on this settings, you will see it is showing you as a pop-up, and it has also segregated every area like general, theme, list, forms, notifications, developer. So all the settings, and it has categorized all the settings. However, you don't have this view in UI15. It's quite different. So it was like old UI. So that's the reason I'm saying that these are the things which is like a comparison between UI15 and UI16. If you have UI15 and maybe you are using old version and you still don't want to activate it, ideally if you will upgrade, it will definitely give you the new UI. Even if you don't get it, you can still enable with the help of a plugin. So you can do that even if your instance in lower version, you can still have and activate UI16 if you don't have that in your instance. We also learned about switching. So the only option you have for switching between UI16 and UI15 is this button where you can switch between UI16 and it is personalized. Let's take a look if ITIL user can do this particular functionality or utilize this functionality or not. So I will impersonate ITIL user. So ITIL user is a user who does not have admin access. But now we want to see whether admin can only switch the UI or ITIL user or any other user can also do that. So I have impersonated ITIL user now. I'm going to click this button, and if I go at the top, you can see it is not available for me. So you can make it available. So it is ideally it should be personalization. So maybe in this instance we have not enabled it, but you can do that. So you can see we are not able to switch UI. So ITIL user cannot do that. But if you want, we can definitely do with the help of a setting. You can enable it. It can be personalized as well if you want to switch the UI. I'm going to close this and I'm going to impersonate system administrator. Now let me show you some good functionalities or good features of UI16. As I already mentioned, some of the good features that you have user menu in just one button. You can access everything like logout, impersonation, elevated access, and user profile. You can do it directly from here. And this will also show you your picture and the current logged in user, search, setting, question. If you want to have some help, you can do it. It's a chat. If chat is enabled, you can see it here. Now, if you see this application navigator, you have this minimize navigator. So if I click this button, navigator will be minimized. But you still want to access bookmarks or favorites, which we talked about. You can still access from here. So if I do, you can see as of now I have one thing as favorite, but if I click maybe flow designer as a favorite, because this is like a favorite, if it becomes star, that becomes favorite. You see this button, it's called edit application. Now you don't have these features in your UI15. So these are the really great features, I would say. So as an administrator, if you want to just edit the application for any application you want, you just click this button and you will be able to edit it. So I just click this button and you will see this application menu. You have modules and all. So I have made it favorites as of now. If I click this button, minimize the navigator, now you can see I got this flow designer. Now I made it as a favorite. That's the reason I can see it. So all the favorites will be shown here if you have created the favorites. If I click here and if I go to favorites, and this is also a edit button. It says edit favorites. If I click this button, I can edit. I can change the name. I can change the color. You can also change the icon if you want. So this is how this works. Now, icon is not coming because if I click on maybe this one and as favorite, see now icon, because that was the application menu and it was not showing as you can't select the icon. However, if you are selecting any module, then you can definitely see the icon. You can select whatever icon you want to have, and you can also change the name. You can also change the color. If you will change that color, maybe this one, if you click on done, you will see that color in your favorites with that icon and with the name as well. If you want to delete the favorite, you can just click here and it says remove from favorites. So these are some functionalities where where you can like collapse and expand your application navigator. Now, this one history. This one shows the history, that how many records or whatever you clicked, it just shows over here. So if you remember, you clicked on problems, you clicked on application menu, and now it is showing you over there. So if you want, it's kind of a fast access, I would say. So if you were using your system and maybe you logged off for um, 1 hour maybe, and after some time you want to see, and you just want to quickly access your history, one of the item from the history, you can just click on history and see that in the list, and just check and just click that again, and it will open it. So for example, if I click this again, it will open the same list, same module basically, which was opened first time. So that's how like you can utilize this history functionality. Now you can also configure the number of history entries displayed in the application navigator. And how exactly you can do that? So I'm talking about this one. So in order to change the function, like get the number of histories, number of records in the history button, history pane, I would say, you have to go to sys properties dot list. Now I'm typing capital list because this will open a new tab, but let me put it in small. So this is the list of properties we have in ServiceNow. Now, if I locate, I need to search for, I think, history. Let me search with history. If I search for history, I have a lot of records, but my, uh, okay, yep, glide history length properties. Yep, this one. So if I click here, and you will see the statement description as well, that initial number of records pulled for condensed history. That means how many records you want to see in your history. So as of now, you want to, if you want, you can limit this as well. And once you will be done with this, this will be pushed for every user of the system, every user for ServiceNow system. So this is how you can change the property. As of now, it's 30. You want to limit it, make it 20, or if you want to increase this, you can also do that. Now let's talk about the settings button. If you click on this settings button, you have a lot of more options which you will not find in UI15. As an example, you have accessibility enabled. It says it improves accessibility when a keyboard or screen reader. Okay. Accessibility tooltips on forms. Data visualization pattern enabled. Compact the user interface. Now, I usually do this whenever I open a new instance, or I get a new instance of ServiceNow. The interface is like quite big, okay, quite large. So what I do, I just click this button, it becomes green. Now you can see the size has decreased a little bit, and that's called compact the user interface. Then we have compact list date time. Shortcut keyboard shortcuts enabled. If you want to enable it for some of the options in the system, you have this home page. So home, there's a button in the left hand side. If that button should be your home page as a home, or dashboard as a home, you can do that. Date time should be as a calendar time or time ago, or both. What exactly you want to show, you can do it, or you want to show both as well, you can do it. Time zone is as per the user preference. So it's just a user profile, that if you're sitting in US, you can select America or whatever time zone you have. Then it says printer friendly version. Okay, if I click here, I think I would be able to print it. That's what it does. Then I have theme. Now theme would show me the colors. So if you will click on these buttons, so for example, if I click rose, it will change the color and I will have a different ServiceNow instance. The color will be changed. You can do this if you want to make a difference for your different instances you have. Then you have list. List, it's a setting for list. So you want to wrap longer text in list column, yes or no, you can do it from here. Settings for forms. Do you want tabbed kind of forms, or you want like every section in just as in one view? I will show you how exactly this works. If I will disable this, so let me disable this so that you can see how exactly it make that difference. So I have disabled it for now. If I go here and I open any incident maybe, so I will click here and I will click this button. So I'm opening this incident. This is the record. When I open this record, you can see I have some sections called notes, related records, resolution information. These are the sections which are of the form, like they are form sections. As of now, they are showing just and they are being loaded at the same time, and they are showing like this. Now, how about in sections separately? In order to do that, I will click here. I will make it tabbed forms and I will cancel this. Now you will see a difference. If you will see that, if you will do that, it is done. It should do. I think it is still processing. It is quite late, maybe because of internet connection, but now you can see the difference. So now you have these sections separately as a tab. Initially, it was not as a tab, but now you have these sections as tab. So I click here, related list loading. Now we have related list on ServiceNow. Related list is something, the related records of the current data or the current record. So this is like task SLA. So it is asking you whether you want to reload or load the list with the form loading or after form load or on demand. So that's what you can select right from here. Then you have notifications. It is just a notification preference. If you want to enable notification, disable notification, add some more notification, that's what you can do it from here. And then you have developer. And if you are an admin, then this would be here. You will see these options right here, developer. Other people will not see, like an ITIL or end user, because they are not administrators. So in developer, you can see this, which application you want to select. If you want to show application picker in the header, you can do that. So see, you can see it automatically populates here, and you want to update set picker as well. And here's the update set. You can click here, you can see update set picker is right here, and then JavaScript log and field watcher and automated test framework page inspector. If you want to enable this, this was introduced in Madrid version, it was not before. So this is quite interesting, but we will learn about this particular functionality later, because this is more related to development and testing. But as of now, we are just talking about the user interface. So this is all about user interface. So we have two versions, UI16 and UI15. I would recommend to use UI16 because it has more features, better UI experience. However, if you are not comfortable with UI16, you can switch to UI15 as well. However, it's I think if you are like a beginner of ServiceNow, then this would be more comfortable to you. So thanks for watching my video. Have a great day.